What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the best franchise on YouTube and your Super Bowl champions, the Washington football team. We're back here, man, in year number 3 of this Washington football team franchise, seeing if we can run things back. For those of you that are new to the channel, man, go ahead and do me a huge favor. Go ahead, hit that subscribe button. I post a lot of franchise gameplays here on the channel, not just the Washington football team. I also have a Houston Texans franchise. If you look down below in the description, you'll find a link that will take you to all of my franchise gameplays that I have here for you guys on the channel. So, man, it was a crazy offseason for the Washington football team. Let's go ahead and get into it by looking at the offense real quick. Starting at the wide receiver position, we ended up trading away Mike Evans, ended up getting a second-round draft pick in return for him, and we went into free agency and ended up signing Miles Boykins, still a very big receiver, decent catching traffic, not as high as what Mike Evans was, but what he doesn't have in catching traffic, he makes up for with speed, and I want a lot more speed at the wide receiver position, which is also why we ended up making another trade and ended up acquiring Marcus Johnson from the Indianapolis Colts. And then one of our second-round draft picks, I can't remember if it was the one for Mike Evans, but we ended up drafting wide receiver along with that one. So the first one we drafted was Frank Lanson, and then the next one we ended up coming back and getting Joseph Nada, both wide receivers out of Clemson. Lanson is actually the faster of the two young rookie receivers, but we're going to try to find a way to implement both of them into the game plan. Again, with the trade that we ended up making for Marcus Johnson, we also ended up acquiring David DeCastro, helping shore up that offensive line, and we actually ended up letting our right tackle walk. So our offensive line definitely got a lot stronger. And defense, you see, things got a little bit different over here as we ended up acquiring DeForest Buckner. The trade that we ended up making with the Colts, we ended up sending away our first-round draft pick along with Danielle Hunter and acquired David DeCastro, Danielle Hunter, and Marcus Johnson. I definitely feel like I was winning off of that trade, so that's why I ended up making that. Another free agency move we ended up doing, we ended up signing Bobby Okereke, a new left outside linebacker for the team to help that linebacking core. We also ended up trading away Landon Collins to the Titans, I believe, for their second-round draft pick. And we ended up signing CJ Gardner-Johnson out of free agency to help fill the void there at linebacker. I love Landon Collins. He's my dude. He's not an original Washington football team guy. He technically came from the Giants, but I still love the guy. But he's kind of slow. I love the hit power, 95 hit power. I mean, you can't get mad at that. But just the areas of the field that hurt was when I knew it was passing situations and I didn't want to use her Troy Apke. I wanted to use her my strong safety. Landon Collins was just too slow there. So those are the moves that we end up making in the offseason. Hopefully, I think that we end up getting our team a whole lot better. I'm really excited to see how DeForest Buckner works with the team, especially with Chase Young. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into this game with the Giants to see how it goes. Hey, did y'all see that Super Bowl trophy sitting there on the shelf in my coach's office? It looked nice. I'm not gonna lie. But it did look a little lonely, so it's time for us to see if we can go get him a little brother. It's time for Washington to defend their title now as the Super Bowl champions of the league. But it starts here in week number 1 up against the Giants. First down and 10 from the 25-yard line. Handoff goes to the running back Lattimore, who runs to the left, ends up picking up a gain to 8 yards there on first down, gets him to a second and short. Second and 2, Lamar Jackson back to throw, ends up hitting Lattimore out of the backboard. Actually, no, this is a different running back. 2 running back system here for the Giants, but that one turns into no gain at all. Third down and short. Lamar Jackson firing to a wide open Odell Beckham Jr., who has found his way back to New York and is making his presence known early as he picks up the first down in this one. Jonnu Smith gets the handoff there on first down, and are we sure that's not Landon Collins? CJ Gardner-Johnson putting a huge hit stick there on Jonnu Smith, planting him at the 47-yard line. Lattimore comes back on second down, makes it a third down and short here for the Giants. Handoff goes to Lattimore to see if he can pick up the first down, and DeForest Buckner is able to put a stop to it. If anybody is still questioning why I made the trade that I did for DeForest Buckner, that play right there just sums it all up. Did you not see how he just tossed the center out of the way and just stopped the running back in the backfield? Now Washington starting with possession of the ball here at the 3-yard line. Handoff goes to Antonio Gibson, who gains 9 yards, and Marcus Johnson is injured before he even has a pass thrown his way. Okay, cool. Second down and 1 here. Pat Freiermuth on the jet sweep. Ends up turning the corner, ends up picking up the first down. Pat is back, and he's 100% healthy after his torn labrum that kept him out of the Super Bowl, and he's ready to go. First down and 10. Ends up connecting underneath with the rookie. Gets out of bounds at the 22-yard line, but who is not healthy is Marcus Johnson, who suffered a dislocated elbow and is out for the remainder of this game. After just one play, and still didn't even get a pass thrown his way. Now first down and 10 here from the 29-yard line. Mac Jones dropping back to throw, looking across the middle, firing, ends up having Robert Foster, who makes the catch there in the middle of the field in traffic, getting the first down and finally brought down at the 42-yard line. First down and 10, handoff goes to Antonio Gibson, who is stopped in his tracks by Terrell Edmonds, ends up losing a yard there on the play, backs us up to a second down 11. Quick screen throw here to Ngata, turns the corner and almost has the first down, brought down just shy of the first down marker by 2 yards, brings up a third down and 2. Screen pass again, this time it goes to Robert Foster, who makes the catch and picks up the first down as he goes out of bounds. First down and 10, play action fake here for Mac Jones, dropping back to throw, looking for Pat Freiermuth, has the catch and is brought down at the 29-yard line after picking up a Washington first down. The ball is moving very well, especially through the air. Like I said, I want to try to build up this passing game for the Washington football team, going for Miles Boykins, and he's unable to make the catch there in traffic. 2 Giants defenders all over him, preventing him from bringing that ball in. Second down and 10, handoff goes to Gibbs, and he's stopped after a small gain of 2 yards. Third down and 8, needing a big play here. Mac Jones dropped back to throw, looking for Pat Freiermuth, and he drops the ball. Pat was wide open, so we'll have to rely on the leg of Dustin Hopkins. And, oh gosh, a huge lag spike with the wind going to the left, and this kick is up, and it is wide left. The Washington football team leaves with no points on the board. Kind of hurts because we had a little bit of something going there, and to get no points off that drive really hurts. And speaking of hurt, DeForest Buckner is hurt. We'll have to look into this injury to see what this is. This could be a devastating blow for the Washington football team defense now. Lamar Jackson connecting underneath to Evan Ingram, who slips one tackle, working his way all the way up to the 40-yard line. Now third down and 3 from the 41-yard line. Lamar Jackson feeling the pressure, taking off with his legs, has the first down, is across midfield and out of bounds at the 44-yard line for another Giants first down. And the news continues to get worse and worse for the Washington football team. DeForest Buckner is now out indefinitely with a torn labrum, and we know very well about this injury. That's the same type of injury that Pat Freiermuth had that kept him out for 8 weeks. That's the same time length that we're looking at for DeForest Buckner now, and our defense just got a lot weaker, and things for the Giants just got a whole lot easier. But facing a third down and 13 shouldn't be an easy down to convert, but the Giants do it with ease, barely breaking a sweat as Hawkins makes the catch, working his way all the way down to the 30-yard line. Handoff goes to Lattimore, gets down to the 25-yard line for a gain of 5 on the play. Second and 5 under center. Lamar Jackson hands this ball off to Lattimore once more, turns to the right, has nobody in front of him, and he's into the end zone for the first touchdown of the day. And Washington definitely has some holes to fill, man. How are we going to replace DeForest Buckner for the next 5, 6, 7 weeks that he's going to be out with this injury? We're going to have to figure out things on defense. But first, we got to worry about the offense. First down and 10. Mac Jones firing across the middle to a wide open Miles Boykins, who has to catch up to the 44-yard line. And this injury bug is biting us hard, man. That's the third person to be injured. But luckily, Troy Apke is at least able to return to this game. First and 10, handoff goes to Robert Foster on the jet sweep. Picks up a gain of 6 yards, which is just a step away from making that into a huge gain. Second down and 4, under pressure. Mac Jones throws one up for grabs, and yep, that's going to be intercepted. Juan Thornhill on the return ends up getting brought down just inside the 45 at the 47-yard line. Things are not looking good for Washington right now. This all-passing attack isn't really working. The defense is very porous, holes all over the place, and Hawkins is finding one right there as he marches his way all the way into the end zone. Things just go from bad to worse for the defending champs, the defending NFC East champs, and there's the NFC Conference champions. I mean, that injury of DeForest Buckner, it hurts in more ways than one because he was literally the centerpiece of our defense. He was going to stop anything up the middle, and he does a whole lot better of a job of it than what Matthew Ioannidis does. Not that he's a bad player, but he's not on the same level. And make matters even worse, Mac Jones is over here suffering from a Super Bowl hangover, just completely throws this ball away directly to the guy, celebrating a hit stick. But dude, you just threw the game away again. Another interception and another touchdown here for Lattimore as the Giants take now a commanding 3-score lead here in the first half. I mean, we're still not out of it. There's still a chance if we're able to put this ball in the end zone on this 2-minute drive right here. I feel a lot better about things because then we get the ball to start off the second half with the chance to make this a 21-14 game and still be in it just one defensive stop away. But it starts here on this drive for offense. What are we able to do? Is Mac Jones able to have pinpoint accuracy? So far, so good as he ends up hitting Antonio Gibson there in the flats. Gets out of bounds at the 39-yard line. Mac Jones dropping back to throw once more. Feeling the pressure. Throws one up for grabs for Miles Boykins. And okay, you don't throw into double coverage because that ball is going to be intercepted. And it is once more off on the return. Getting this across midfield back to the 36-yard line. And the Giants are in position to add even more points onto this lead. And oh my gosh, Hawkins almost did it right there again in one play. Working all the way down to the 19-yard line. 55 seconds left. Washington's defense is desperately trying to stop any points being put up on the board, but the Giants are already in field goal range. Big stop there on second down by Gardner Johnson, stopping Lamar Jackson for a gain of only 1 yard. Third down and 9, keeping this on the ground, and why wouldn't they? Hawkins ends up fighting his way forward all the way down to the 12-yard line, and the Giants are going to take a timeout with 4 seconds left and kick the field goal and go into the second half with the 24-point lead. Not a 4-point lead. I wish it was only a 4-point lead. But now Washington has the task of trying to right the ship here. And this first half has just been completely horrible. I mean, the injuries left and right. The interceptions thrown by Mac Jones, granted a couple of those were my fault, but that last one, I have no idea what he was thinking or what he was doing. We'll just chalk it up to Super Bowl hangover. I don't know. But, I mean, starting off the second half here, down 24 points. Hey, we did all that damage in one half. Maybe we can right the ship in one half. Starts here on second and inches from the 35-yard line. Shotgun formation. Mac Jones dropping back to throw. Hasn't had the best day, but he connects this time with a wide-open Miles Boykins, who has the catch across midfield and is finally brought down at the 36-yard line. Those are the types of passes I need my guy to start hitting on. First down to 10. Going deep once more, and okay. We're lucky that one wasn't an interception. Again, I don't know what he was thinking on that one. Just completely overthrew Miles Boykins on that one. Second down and 10, handoff here. It goes to Antonio Gibson, who tries to run through a guy, but for whatever reason, he's unable to. Brings us to a third down to 2, and Antonio Gibson is able to fall forward for enough yardage for a first down to the 23-yard line. Jones back to throw, looking for the end zone, and oh, Robert Foster, you got to come up with those catches. When my guy is accurate, you have to repay him by making the catches, but he makes up for it here on second down and 10. Jet sweep goes to Robert Foster, who weaves his way through the defense and gets into the end zone for the first Washington touchdown of the day, and it is possible for us to get on the board. We listened to Madden, though, and we decided to go for 2. Hand it off here to Antonio Gibson, and he gets stonewalled at the line of scrimmage, and Washington only leaves with 6 points on the board. But, I mean, it's not all bad right now. At least we're putting points up on the board. Now we need to figure things out on defense. The Giants, they really just want to run this ball. They don't have too many receivers besides Odell Beckham Jr., and I do not blame them for running the ball, especially if the lanes are going to open up like this one is for Lattimore. He's off to the races. It's finally brought down by Darby inside the 25-yard line at the 23, and you got to expect we're going to be facing a run-heavy threat here from the Giants, especially with DeForest Buckner off of the field for many, many weeks to come. Second down and 6, Lamar Jackson in the shotgun formation hands this ball off to Hawkins, who swerves past Troy Ackey into the end zone for what, his second, maybe his third rushing touchdown of the day. And Washington is just literally left scratching their heads trying to figure out what we're going to do. How are we going to stop this run game without DeForest Buckner? Didn't really plan for that coming into this matchup. I was expecting to have DeForest Buckner all season. You don't ever really plan for someone to get injured. It's like, hey, just in case he gets injured, I'm going to have this guy as a backup. So, yeah, we have a lot of planning to do in the weeks coming to figure out how to stop the run game in future contests. Second and 10, though. Deep shot looking for Miles Boykins, unable to make that catch in traffic. Difficult pass to bring in there. Can't blame him for that one. But third down and 10, Mac Jones dropping back to throw. We can 100% blame Mac Jones on that throw right there. I tried to pass lead that one up a little bit higher for Robert Foster, but Stephon Gilmore ends up coming away with the interception. And all I can say is at least you cannot lose an entire season in just 1 week. That's the only thing we have going for ourselves right now. We'll be able to right the ship eventually, but I'm just glad that we just can't lose the season and be out of playoffs in just week 1. There's only been 1 week played. Third down and goal here from the 1-yard line. Lamar Jackson hands this ball off to Lattimore, who ends up fighting his way into the end zone for another Giants touchdown. And it's become pretty apparent that there's going to be no comeback attempt at all in this one. I mean, really, it's just a question of how many more interceptions is Mac Jones going to throw, or when are we just going to say, you know what, screw it, let's stop throwing the ball and just give the ball to Antonio Gibson. Clearly, we haven't reached that point just yet. We're still throwing the ball with Antonio or with Mac Jones. 2nd down and 10, we hand this ball off to Antonio Gibson, who ends up picking up a 1st down, getting it about 15 yards all the way up to the 39-yard line. 1st down and 10 for Washington. Handoff again goes to Antonio Gibson. This time he stopped up after a gain of only about 4, actually 6 yards on the play. Good run there by him. 2nd and 4. Mac Jones back to throw once more, looking to go deep, looking for Pat Freiermuth. Okay, you know what? That one, I know it was double coverage, but Pat Freiermuth didn't even jump. Like, you're 6'7" as a tight end. You could at least jump up and try to play a little bit of defense, my guy. Like, help the quarterback out. 2nd down, Lamar Jackson trying to run the read option, gets hit trying to pitch that ball away, and it's recovered by Cole Holcomb, who's off on the return, gets brought down at the 7-yard line, and now Washington has possession of the ball at the 7 in scoring range. I mean, the game's not over yet. Anything's possible. Handoff goes to Antonio Gibson, who walks into the end zone with no problem at all from 7 yards out for another Washington touchdown, and why not? We're down so many points. Let's see if we can get the 2-point conversion. The Giants send pressure, and Mac Jones goes down. Didn't even have the time to go through his progressions, and the Giants' lead is now cut down to just a small 26 points. You know, comeback effort isn't completely off the table here just quite yet. I've seen larger comebacks in 4th quarters of Madden football games. 1st down and 10, handoff goes to Lattimore, gets a gain of 3 yards. 2nd and 7 from the 28-yard line. Lamar Jackson hands his ball off to Lattimore once more, and he's stopped after a small gain of only 1 yard. 3rd down and 6. This is the time that Washington's defense needs to bow their backs, get off the field right here. Handoff goes to Lattimore, and Gardner Johnson is able to bring him down, forcing a 3rd down. And like I said, anything is possible at this point. We have 5 minutes left here in this 4th quarter. All we need to do, I mean, we can't take our time to score. We need to get in the end zone as quick as possible. But, I mean, anything is possible at this point. Read option here with Robert Foster goes nowhere as Stephon Gilmore sniffs that one out, stopping him right at the line of scrimmage. 2nd down and 10, Mac Jones dropping back to throw, and okay, comeback effort is 100% off the table because we need to throw the ball for this comeback effort to even be possible. And Mac Jones is completely hung over at this point. I mean, he just completely overthrew Pat Freiermuth, and that was just a 100% overthrow on Mac Jones because Pat Freiermuth was wide open. But he's still my guy. I'm still going to give him a chance in this one. We'll still rock with him, but just know, Mac Jones, I'm looking out my rear view. I'm looking at Tom, who's sitting on the bench over there. If this Super Bowl hangover continues for many more weeks to come, you might be out of a job, my guy. 3rd down and 9 with the chance to get off the field. Lamar Jackson back to throw, rolling the pocket to his right. Can't get away from Chase Young. Ends up getting brought down at the 38-yard line. But they are in field goal range. This is a pretty deep field goal, actually. Giants kick is up, and it just barely gets over the crossbar. It is good. What's that now? 29-point lead for the Giants here in the 4th quarter with 3 minutes left. Why not just see if we can get anything going at this point? Mac Jones back in the shotgun formation, looking to see if he can redeem himself after the horrible throws. Yep, that answer is no, as he throws that one directly to Terrell Edmonds. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, he's literally throwing it directly to these guys. We're just going to go ahead and end it here. The Giants just go ahead and knee this ball out. Washington ends up getting spanked in their season opener on Sunday Night Football at home. Hopefully we can look to rebound next week. Leave a like on the video if you guys enjoyed. Subscribe for more Washington Football Team franchise gameplays. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Later.
Watching this one, everyone was excited that football was back.
And it's just special. You could just feel it. It's so good to have the pigskin back out there. It'll be crisp fall weather before we know it.
You got that right, but I love the build up to it, right?